Hey everybody on YouTube. Alright, this came in the mail for me yesterday. This is my Gil Hibben Claw 2 karambit knife. It's pretty cool. This thing, I got this off of Amazon for about $22, and then with shipping it was like another $5. It came out to like $28 or something in total. But as far as karambits go, you know, if you're on a budget, this is definitely something that you should probably consider. I'm going to go review a couple of things I noticed with it. There's a lot of reviews on YouTube that I was reading. It looks like, you know, a lot of people were a bunch of knife collectors. I saw one guy who looked like he knew some kind of martial arts. So if martial arts really isn't your thing, you're just collecting knives. I don't know if this is really the review for you, but you know, hopefully you like what I have to say. So anyway, let's just start with the basics. This is what it came with, this leather sheath, which I'm going to talk about later. Let's pull this out. Okay, so this is the karambit. It's got about a 2.5 inch blade on the long curve, and on the in curve it's about 1.5 inches. And so, you know, you notice some of the cool things about it right away is it's just a full tang. It's not a, you know, this one doesn't have the micarta handle. They do make a version that has a micarta handle. I opted not to get that one, just because I'm cheap, and two, because you're going to see what I'm going to do with this thing later, and hopefully you'll think it's pretty cool. Hopefully I'll think it's pretty cool too. Most people, if you know, if you're just a knife collector, I've seen them all holding the karambit like this, which, yeah, it's a good way to hold it. I mean, you know, we do this a lot in the martial arts, this kind of motion. But this knife, you know, Indonesia is where it originally comes from. Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines. You know, it's really meant to be held in the reverse grip, which brings me to you know, one of my first gripes about it is I've got a big hand, and look how close my hand comes to that blade. Okay, so if you were to really use this on somebody, get a good stick in there, it wouldn't take much for your hand just to slide down just a little bit. And I would imagine the same thing this way. In fact, I heard a lot of people complaining about this little part right here with the jimping. They try to put their hand right here, and if you go to cut something, your thumb just tends to ride up. So, you know, a lot of people have rounded that out. You know, for people with bigger hands, you know, it's something to just be careful with. I've already cut myself, I don't know how well you can see it, a couple times on there. It's because one of the features of a karambit is this signature ring. It's not necessarily just the curved blade, but there's a definite functionality to this ring. And a lot of it is used for this extension grip. So you can see when we flip it up, you know, it's made to come, and if somebody's blocking, you think you blocked me, oh, but you didn't, because I can come over the top. Or, you know, this likes to flip around, and you can rip the neck, you can throw it around somebody's arm, come down this way. You know, and a lot of Filipino martial arts, we're very hand oriented, and the hand motions are the same as if you had a blade in your hand. So whether I'm going, you know, hit, boom, boom, like this, with without the knife, you know, block, check, hit, you can do the same thing with a karambit knife, where it's kind of block, check, slash, hit. So those are some of the features of the karambit, and that's why, you know, we use this ring a lot. Which brings me to my next drawback, if you will. That functionality of the ring is really hard to do with these two protrusions right here, these horns. Now, they're really good for sticking somebody in there, right there in the chest, you know, or if you hit somebody right here in the head. It's you know, it's a lot of energy on one concentrated little point, a little less lethal force. You don't get me wrong, you could still kill people with that, but you definitely, you know, it's not as likely as if you're using this, you know, the business end of this. So hopefully you'll check out part 2 of what I'm going to do to make this better. just a heads up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind this down just a little bit, so I still get that, you know, a little hump right here that I can use, but it won't interfere as much when I'm trying to spin. You see how like that can get caught? Because what's happening is if you try to use this extension grip, you have to really open up your hand a lot more in order for it to flip around and catch it. This big horn right here kind of gets in the way of that, which is what I think is leading to me when my hand is open so wide and when I go to close it, that I'm kind of catching it right there. And I haven't been bleeding or anything, I mean, but it's just been like these annoying little paper cuts. You know, so just that's something to think about if you're thinking about buying this. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to round this edge down just a little bit to give my pinky a little bit more safety room. When I first got the knife, the outside edge was not sharp at all. I mean, it could be sharpened. The inside edge also wasn't as sharp. So what I did was I just took my sharpener and I actually sharpened it. You can use a sharpener to get some kind of sharpness out of it. It doesn't have to be grinded down or anything. The inside part was a little bit harder to sharpen, but it's, you know, it's pretty sharp, and it'll definitely cut somebody. I think it was important to sharpen the outer edge because I'm not, like I said, I'm not holding it like this as much. You know, if I'm coming in, I'm holding it more like this, so I'll be coming down on these kinds of angles. And then you could definitely want the inside edge sharp, because if somebody, you know, say they got their arm on you, you could throw that around and just rake all the way down their arm, or rake it all the way across their neck. Kind of morbid, but get into Filipino martial arts and you'll learn all that stuff. So let me talk a little bit about the sheath that it came with. Overall, it's a good sheath. I heard a lot of people call this a boot clip. And I don't know about you, but I don't really wear cowboy boots all the time, so it makes it really hard to carry. Quality, it's kind of your average, you know, sheath. I mean, you get what you pay for. I paid $22 for this knife, but so it buckles on the inside. See how well you guys can see that. Buckles right here. The clip is right here. So for Filipino martial artists or anybody that's into like Indonesian silat, kind of hurts you that this sheath is made this way, because we like to carry it, you know, for most right-handed people, we want to carry it with the clip right here, let's say on like our hip or something, you know, carry it on your hip and be able to clip it down there. But a lot of people are saying like, well, it's meant to be put on the inside of your pants. Well, you know, you can carry it like that. I mean, I can carry it like this in the athletic pants, but in jeans, you know, I'm kind of a little bit bigger guy, and when you draw this thing up, look how close this blade comes to your skin. I just don't like that at all. So the way I plan to carry it is like this. I'll just put that in my pocket. Yeah, let's see if you can see.